Hi everyone, this is daveac.blit.tv and this is my vblog 120 for Friday the 5th of November 2010. And with podcasts, music and reading, there's no time for fireworks for me. And I got the date right this week. Yes, it is actually a Friday and it is the 5th of November. There's bound to be at least one mistake somewhere in the next 15 minutes, but what they certainly will be is a whine at the end. Okay, let's get on with the usual stuff, and I'm going to try and not wobble about on my chair as much this week either. Made myself dizzy when I watched back. Okay, Podshock. Lewis has got out one of the extra editions this week. That's Podshock 226 extra edition, and those are the ones for subscribers for a small small monthly sum of $5, and I'm one of them, so I'm not asking people to do something that I'm not myself doing. You get to help out the Gallifreyan Embassy keep the site going, all the production of all the great podcasts that he does with Ken and James, and it also keeps the whole thing running. And as a small reward from now and again, he puts out these extra podcasts. This one includes an interview with Tommy Knight, the young actor who plays Luke in the Sarah Jane Adventures. Currently, of course, we're in the middle of series 4 of the Sarah Jane Adventures, and very exciting it is too. I am really enjoying it. One small piece of information, which I don't think is too much of a spoiler: you don't see as much as Luke in this current season, and the reason for that is real life events. The guy has gone off to university, so he does make appearances, but he's not featured as much as he was in the previous series. But he's not been written out, as far as I understand it. So that's that. And we've also, I won't say what, but there's been some nice fan stuff in the Sarah Jane Adventures. So, but I'm enjoying it. Okay, let's get on. The Compton Collective, the podcast I do with Ian, the Sixth Doctor. We did a show on the Halloween special called History of Horror, and I thought it went down quite well. We were using as our inspiration for that the 3-part documentary that Mark Gatiss had done on BBC4. And I'm informed by Tim Jury that that won't be going to DVD, as I speculated in the podcast. But one thing I do seem to think is that the horror he only covered up to about the end of the 70s. So I think probably Tim or somebody else confirmed this, it looks very much likely he's going to do another 3, probably around about October of next year, covering the 80s, 90s and the noughties. So look out for that. The Compton Collective on TalkShoe ID 54821 are of course from iTunes, and you can find out more from cultum.com. We also put out another one of our commentary ones, and this is where Mike Thor comes on board with us and helps us out. And it was the first of 2-part Doctor Who story. It was Army of Ghosts. So that was up, and the second part of that will be up sometime, probably Monday, Tuesday of next week. Okay, that's the main podcasting news, except to say that this coming Sunday, November the 7th, we're going to do about music in science fiction and fantasy, TV series and films, and how that enhances people's enjoyment of those shows. And that will have some effect on the CD, the music CD I'm going to play today. A couple of other little odds and ends of news, and then we're going to get on to the music, so we'll spend a little bit more time on that today. Cumberbatch, the chap who played Sherlock in the Stephen Moffat 3-part series, and we know that's coming back to our screens next year. He's going to be playing, and this links into the horror one, he's going to be playing Dr. Frankenstein on the stage, I assume in London. I'm not sure about any more details than that, but it just shows that he's also becoming a bit of a man of the moment. There's also been announced one good and one bad thing. In the UK, Red Dwarf has been given a go-ahead for a new series, although it might only be 5 or 6 episodes, and this will be sometime in 2011. But in the States, one of the science fiction shows over there has been told it's not being renewed, and that is Caprica. So I think the series will play out to its series finale, but it's not being renewed. That's going to be the end of the Caprica storyline. Okay. And one little piece of news. The 2 sports that I follow are tennis and golf. And a bit of good news for people who follow golf in the UK. Lee Westwood has finally toppled Tiger Woods as the world #1 golfer. I think Tiger Woods has spent something like 281 weeks as the #1 golfer. Not continuously, I think he dropped it either to Vijay Singh or someone, but 281 weeks as the #1 golfer. And now Lee Westwood is, which is absolutely amazing because he hasn't won one of the major titles. He's just consistently come in the top 10 and second, third and so on. And he's got the rewards for that. Okay, I better watch my time. Now, I was going to show some other things, but I've witted on too long. Let me tell you about the reason why I haven't got a book, and then about the music. Well, I haven't got a book because I'm trying to get through, and I am enjoying it. It's not a chore, but it is difficult to find time for even reading with all the podcasting, and that is the mythological dimensions of Doctor Who. That's the book of short stories edited by Anthony Burnage, Jessica Burke, Christine Larson, and it's with Kitstune Books. That's KITSUNE, and the ISBN number is 978-098-194-9581. And Ian and myself are hoping to do an interview with Anthony about that book in a week or two's time, and therefore I'm trying to get through the rest of the stories in that book. So that's the mythological dimensions of, well, not just stories, but all this is related to that aspect of Doctor Who. Okay, well, music. And this coming Sunday, as I said, we're doing about sci-fi music in movies and films, and just some little nod that you've got to watch out for things like this. I was going to originally, by the way, have because it's Bonfire Night, I was going to have music for the Royal Fireworks, but checking back, I've actually already covered this CD, but that is a smashing CD by Philips, music for the Royal Fireworks. So I decided that since I've been looking at this music for little clips for the Sunday show, I'll illustrate something to you. This is a good CD, and I've featured it before. Movie music conducted by Stanley Black, the London Symphony Orchestra. And this one has science fiction and other war films, of course, Lawrence of Arabia and 633 Squadron. But I also found this CD, and I was going to play just from this one. It's called Space Themes, but I'm not recommending this disc, even though I'm showing it. And I'm going to actually illustrate that with track 2. This is track 2, Star Wars, or a little bit of it from this one. Have a short listen. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Now, from this better CD, this is much more like the original movie music. Turn that up a bit. Okay, I think that's enough to illustrate the point. The point is, don't think that sometimes you can pick up a cheap CD and it will sound like you remember hearing the music in the theatre. Look out for ones that are sort of original soundtracks, because then you get a much better experience of the music you're listening to. So just a point to watch out for. Those bargain bin ones, a couple of dollars, $3, they are not the same as listening to the soundtracks from the actual program itself. And on that note, by the way, the soundtrack, a double CD is coming out soon of Series 5 of Doctor Who with all the soundtrack music on, where of course you're actually getting genuine Murray Gold music. Okay, I've whittled on long enough and I want to go to the wine. Well, bit of a treat this week, not because it's an expensive wine, but look at that, 2010. I think this is the first wine I've drunk from 2010. Of course, being from Australia with the seasons different, that's where their 2010 wines hit us before they do from Europe. Okay, it's the Wine Press series, and it's Block 15. It's Shiraz from Southeast Australia, and I've got the cap on, so let me do that very quickly. Please focus. There we are. 14%. Okay, and we're looking for red berry, vanilla oak aromas, complemented by fine tannins. And it's been poured out over half an hour now, and I've been getting a nice fragrance coming across from lots of brambly. No, I haven't been drinking honest brambly fruits of the bramble. Now that's quite old. Some people might find those tannins a bit sharp, but there is that lovely vanilliness, and I'm getting that licorice one that I like coming through as well. It's got a nice long taste, and it is coming out more of a slightly drier red berry rather than the blackberry flavour. Let's have another taste of that. That is actually very nice. The Wine Press series, 2010, Shiraz, South Africa. It was £6. That's $8 or $9, coming up to €7. Well, with that, a rather short thing. There were some other things I was going to mention. I'll just mention them quickly now, as I have a minute left, and I won't move the camera. That's just to say that if you enjoy podcasts, real quality podcasts are produced by the BBC. And the website to go to is quite simply www.bbc.co.uk/podcast. Because they've decided that some of the podcasts that were only staying up for 7 days, they're now going to be up for a month, and other podcasts of more of a historic nature are going to be up in perpetuity. They won't be taken down at all. One or two of the musical ones will only be up for 7 days because of music rights, but a lot of the things, let's do very quickly with the camera, and you can see I've got the page up there. BBC podcasts, those are recently launched, and then there's editors picks. That's bbc.co podcasts. Okay, and with that, I've just about got time to put my camera down. Hope I haven't shouted into the mic there. And this is Dave AC saying catch you next week for vblog 121. Catch you next time. Bye.